Okay, as promised, oxymetholone, or many people may refer to them as oxys, nat50s, anadrol, A-bombs, anaplons, loads of different names. They are basically a 50 milligram oral tablet. Now, their anabolic to androgenic ratio is 320 to 45. So what that actually basically means is they are a lot heavier towards building muscle mass than they are to giving side effects. Their half-life is 9 hours. So every 9 hours, the dose that you have taken will reduce by half. From a point of view of detection, they last in your system for 8 weeks. And doses vary massively. Anything from 25 mg, I've known guys run 200 mg and above. Strangely enough, medical doses are huge. But I'll get onto that in a little bit. They can be used by women, though it's not advised. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it in the slightest, but I have known it happen. Now, regards medical doses are between 1.5 and 2 milligrams per kilo. So if I was to dose 2 kilos, I'd be taking 320 milligrams a day. Quite scary. Now, they are based on dihydrotestosterone, so they do not aromatize. But they do have a unique effect, which we will get onto in a little bit as well. Now, it is actually available as a 25 mg and 100 mg tablet pharmaceutically, but most of us use UGLs, and most of us will be familiar with the 50 mg version. It is generally regarded as one of the most powerful orals there is, and it massively increases RBC, red blood cell count, so you really got to watch your BP when you're using this stuff. They've been used quite a lot for people suffering from anemia. And obviously they're very famous for giving high levels of water retention. Now, one thing you may not realise is oxys shouldn't be taken with food. They're fat soluble, so if you take it with food, it will affect its bioavailability. Now, even though they are DHT derivative and do not aromatize, they are very estrogenic. The reason for this is because it acts directly on the estrogen receptor. Now, oxandrolone or anavar do this on the progesterone receptor. So they can attach to the estrogen receptor and mimic estrogen. For that reason, using an AI or a suicide inhibitor to control estrogen sides with oxys isn't going to work, because they're not converting anything. So the only choice you have to control estrogen sides with oxys are certain selective estrogen receptor modulators. We're talking tamoxifen and Novadex. Nothing else will do it. Now, even though it's quite low androgen, it can still cause androgen-related sides, male bowel baldness, etc. Now, even though it's a DHT, it can convert back to its DHT base. And using something like finasteride, a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, because 5-alpha reductase is the enzyme that causes DHT conversion, won't work, because this is what's caused the action. So taking anything like that is not going to reduce its androgenic sides. So it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, if you're going to get androgenic sides from oxy, you're going to get them. There's nothing you can do to really stop it. They do have quite a massive hit on cholesterol. They don't significantly increase LDL, bad cholesterol, but they do significantly reduce HDL. So it's definitely something you need to keep an eye on. And with all orals, because they are 17 alkylated to withstand breakdown by the liver, they do stress the liver. And obviously the fact that they increase RBC massively and therefore spike blood pressure does mean that indirectly they can give the kidney some stick as well. So, very powerful drug, very useful drug in your arsenal. Very anabolic, quite low androgen. However, you must run SERMs to control the estrogenic sides, and therefore you'll have a better control of water retention. Now, if you are very, very lean, these aren't a bad thing to drop just before going on stage, because if you run these for 4 or 5 days running it to stage, but you must be shredded, it will help you come in as full as a house. If you are not shredded, then they aren't going to do anything for you but mess your physique up. And that is basically it. So there you go. A very, very powerful oral. Great off-season bulking agent. Can be used pre-comp for the last week if you're super lean. Water can be minimised by running a SERM and not your standard estrogen suppression because of how it works with the estrogen receptor. So, hope you find that useful, guys, and I'll bob another one up next week on oxandrolone, or Anavar as we generally call it. Okay, take care now.